This is a demo of how to weigh the foods that you have at meals, which is a proven way to lose weight. You will weigh every food item that you have at meals until the end of the program. Start with any meal and weigh and record in the app the typical amount of each food item that you serve yourself at that meal. The next time you serve any of those foods at a meal, the app will reduce the amounts very slightly and tell you how much of each food to put on your dish. This is called dishing. Along with the app telling you how much to dish of the foods you've recorded, you will add and weigh new food items when you serve them at meals. The app will gradually reduce those food items as well. Here's how to begin. Set up the food scale, fetch an empty dish, and prepare the food items that you will have for a meal. For example, beef and potato. On the app home screen, tap the dishing icon. The meal dishing screen will come up. Tap a meal like lunch and specify your dish size. For example, I say my dish size is 9 inches. Okay, and then tap next at the top. It will ask you sometimes questions. Do you use the triggers and so forth? You'll need to set up, for example, the triggers in your app and also the methods that you'll be using. It'll ask you whether you snack, for example, whether you eat more than your weight amounts if you've weighed your foods beforehand. And then the meal dishing page will come up. Turn on the food scale by tapping the large round button at the upper left side of the scale, and the scale will start up. And then at the bottom of the meal dishing screen in the app, left of the app, tap the bottom dishing screen, tap Add Food, and the message will ask, is the dish on the scale? We'll put the dish on the scale, and then we'll tap Yes. Now, a list of your food items would come up, but initially it will be blank because if this is your first meal. So tap New Food, and then type the name of the food name, for example, beef. And then tap Add. And then it will say place the dish on the scale without beef. So we've got the empty dish on the scale, and we'll tap OK. And the app will then ask, is the dish on the scale without beef? And you'll tap again, yes. You don't want to put the beef on the scale yet. But then now it'll say, at this point, the app will then zero out the weight of the dish that's on the scale. So the app next prompts, place your typical amount of beef on the dish. So we'll place the typical amount of beef on the dish that we would typically take and place whatever you normally take, not what someone else says for you that you should take or what you think you should take. So we'll put a lot of beef on there, since that's what we usually take at meals, is a lot of beef. So we'll put our big bunch of beef on there, whatever, 2 helpings, whatever it is. And then it says once you get the amount on there that you typically take, then it says take a photo of beef. So we'll take a photo of beef. You have to let the app access the camera on your phone, so we'll say OK. So then we'll take a photo of beef. And we can size it a little bit. And we'll say, if it looks good, we'll say use photo. Okay. And then don't forget to tap Save at the top right corner. Okay. So it says now you may eat, you've recorded 1 food. You may eat your meal now or add more foods to your dish by tapping Add Food. So if you're ready to eat, tap Next. Otherwise, take a photo. We're going to add one more food. So we're going to add a new food, another new food. We'll add another food. And it'll say, is the dish on the scale? It'll say yes. And then the new food, we'll want another new food, so we'll tap New Food again in a corner. And then other new food we're going to add is potato. We're going to do that one. Okay, we'll add. It'll say place the dish on the scale without potatoes. So the dish is on the scale now. It's got the beef on it, but the app's going to zero out the weight of not only the dish but also the weight of the beef that's on the scale. So all you'll be weighing now, the app will be weighing, will just be the weight of potato I'm going to put on the scale. So I'll now put the amount of potato on there. Dish on the scale of potato, yes. And it says place the typical amount of potato on the dish. Okay. So you see it says 0 ounces because even though there's the dish on the scale and also the beef, the app has zeroed both of them out. So now all we're going to be doing is putting the weight of the potato on the dish. So I'll put potato, what I typically take potato, there's the potato. Okay. And then I'll take a photo of the potato, the new food potato. I want just a potato picture. Okay, I'll use that photo. And then I'll tap save. And I've recorded, it says now you can eat your meals or you can add other foods. Okay, so we'll tap next, and this will be our lunch meal. So we're ready to now eat this meal. So we'll tap next and take a photo of this lunch meal, which is the beef and the potato. So there's our lunch meal, beef and potato, and I'll use that photo. And again, I'll tap done. Okay, now. Okay, so we've done one meal. Now suppose we then want to have this is lunch. Now suppose we then want to go for dinner. So I'll take the plate off for lunch. And now it's coming, we'll say now it's dinner time. Okay? So we'll get a new plate. If it was dinner time, of course we'd have a new dish, a new plate, a new dish. So it'll ask us in a second to put the dish on the plate, but let's just go now, we'll do dinner. And we'll tap next. I didn't actually specify the size of the dish, which is 9 inches. Okay, so dinner is next, and then it'll say add food. Is the dish on the scale? We'll say yes. We'll put the dish on there. Okay, for dinner. And these are the two foods that we've already recorded. The weight sub, which are the beef and the potato. We've recorded the starting amounts, so the typical amounts we take of those, and the app has actually now reduced those amounts a little bit. The beef amount I think was like 4.5 ounces, and the potato was like 3.8 ounces that we recorded, and the app has reduced them down a little bit because that's how it gets you to lose weight, is just reduce the amounts just a little bit at a time. It reduces it so slightly though you don't notice the difference. You don't notice what's been taken away because it does it so slowly. So anyway, well first we'll get beef, so that we'll put beef on the dish, and the app says to add 4.1 ounces of beef. Okay, so let's get 4.1 ounces. Get 4.1 ounces of beef.
Add 3.1 ounces.
Add
1.2 ounces.
I'm still going to add more beef.
Add 0.8 ounces. Add 0.6 ounces.
A little bit more beef.
Weight acceptable. Weight perfect.
And now it says the weight perfect. Okay, so now I'll save that beef that I got on my dish for dinner. It's been reduced a little bit from what my starting amount was. So I can eat now or add more foods by tapping add food. So I want to add another food for this dinner. So we'll tap add food again. Is the dish on the scale? Yes. Without anything else, just leave the dish on the scale with the beef already on it. Don't have to take it off because the app's going to zero out the weight of the dish and the beef that's on there. Be able to add a second food, and that's all you'll see on the scale. So now we're going to add. See, it says beef is already in the meal. We're going to add potato. So
add 3.2 ounces of potato.
3.2 ounces of potato is what we need for potato. Okay.
Add 3.2 ounces. Remove 0.4 ounces.
You see now
Remove 0.3 ounces.
we started out with 3.5 ounces, and that's what I put back on the dish here. But the app says no, we're going to reduce that a little bit. Take off 4 ounces here. Let's take off a little bit. Okay, so now we've reduced down a little bit, and the app says that's acceptable, so we'll save that. And then you can now eat your meal or add more foods to your dish. Well, now that's all we're going to eat for dinner. We're ready to eat now, so we'll tap we'll tap next and take a photo of our dinner meal, which has got the reduced amounts now. So it'll make us lose weight. I'll take a photo and I'll use that photo and I'll tap done. See, that's our dinner meal. Tap done. And now, so we've recorded the 2 items initially, and we've also dished those 2 items with slightly reduced amounts. That's what you'll do at every meal from now on. Now, there's no limit to how many number of foods you can have on your food list, but try not to have too many items or the dishing can get really complicated. A maximum of 25 foods is recommended for your food list, but you can have more. And the app does have a limit of 5 food items per meal, and a recorded food item should be single foods like rice, not chicken and rice, when you record the food name. Okay, so that's the end of this demo, and I hope you've enjoyed this and hope you understand it. Thank you very much.